Hey, this is Councilman Nat Anderson. I'd like to give a big shout out to Dope World TV, which stands for Dedication Overpowers Everything, and also his partner, Jersey Boys Promotion, for all that they're doing to get this messaging out to you, the residents of Willingboro. And once again, I ask you to vote Tuesday, June 8th, column 1. Thank you. I used to watch his dad come down the street in the red pickup driving so slow. I said, when Joe drives the pickup, I said, I just watch. He drives so slow. It reminds me of your dad.
All right, Willingboro's former mayor, councilman, Nat Anderson.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing this morning?
All is well. Just blessed to see another day.
Word. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm originally from North Jersey, Teaneck, New Jersey. Migrated down to Willingboro in 2001. So I'm a 20-year resident at this point. I have 3 children, Dominique, Maurice, Brandon, and a dog named Q. I'm employed as Vice President of Derrick Automotives. I have a master's degree in business administration. From a community service standpoint, I've been involved in the Willingboro community ever since 2002. When I started out with Little League Baseball with my children. I coached baseball, worked my way up to be president of the Willingboro Little League. In addition to that, I also coached football for the Willingboro Panthers program and coached basketball for the recreational program. From my political activity, I was a canvassing organizer for the Democratic Party during several election campaigns, the president for the Willingboro Democratic Club, the chairman for the Willingboro Democratic Committee, and eventually I became mayor of the township of Willingboro, which I served in 2016. I'm currently a 3-term councilman seeking a 4th term. My affiliations: I'm a member of the great fraternity of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm also of the fraternal order PHA, Lodge number 67, which is Foster's, and I'm a proud member of Alpha Baptist Church. During my tenure on the political scene, I've earned many awards, but the 2 distinguished awards that stick out most to me was in 2016. I was named one of the 25 most influential African Americans in the state of New Jersey. Also in 2015, I was named one of South Jersey's Men of the Year. From a community give back, I make it a habit to donate at least $4,000 to $5,000 each year. So this year during the COVID, we didn't have a lot of activities, a lot of events. But what I did was I found an opportunity to give back. This is a bedroom community that we live in, and it's built off the backs of small businesses. We're not fortunate to have the big retails to support us. So we got to support the small businesses. So I had the opportunity to contribute $3,000 to several businesses in town, and in turn received gift cards, of which I'm giving out and have given out to the community. Just to say thank you for their appreciation, help them with their struggles, but at the same time was able to help the small businesses here in town.
Talk about your platform, man. What do you want the people to know?
Well, one of the things, that I have to give a shout out to our mayor. Our mayor, Dr. Tiffany Worthy. She is the fearless leader that has driven this campaign along with the council members, our deputy mayor, Kaya McIntosh, also Councilwoman Samantha Whitfield, along with Councilwoman Rebecca Perrone. As a unit, we make up the legislative body here in Willingboro. And our focus was to move Willingboro forward by putting several things in place. And the first thing that the township has been missing for a long time that has not actually been identified was a vision. So the vision that we are working on, it's liquid until we finalize it, but it's the vision to be a vibrant and prosperous Willingboro. We want to honor the history, foster the community, and celebrate the diversity that Willingboro is made up of. We encourage the residents to be good neighbors and to protect the environment here. So, it's somewhat of a melting pot, and we want to make sure that everyone is inclusive. That's the vision that we have. The mission part of it is we want to be able to provide a desirable, resilient neighborhood for residents, businesses, and visitors, who come through Willingboro. We're welcome to open communication, responsive feedback, multi-generational participation is what we feel is ever so important. We don't want anybody in this community to feel like they don't have a voice. And that's one of the things that we are really, really stuck on. Community engagement, being part of a planning process for long-term growth for Willingboro. That's the mission.
Right, now let me ask you one question. When you said multi-generational, how do you plan on getting the younger people involved?
Well, one of the things is being able to provide information through communication. There's so much that goes on in this community that folks say they don't always know. So we try to put it out there on many different platforms, many different vehicles, whether it's social media, whether it's mailers, whether it's word of mouth, whether it's hosting forums, putting up posters, documents. It's all about how we communicate, because as we know, through generations, everyone doesn't use the same vehicles to receive the same information, and everyone doesn't process the same information. Right. So we just want to make sure that we're all inclusive and we're not directing, our communication and attention to just one group of folk. So, in order for us to, achieve this vision and this mission that we have for the community, it's going to begin with the people. We want to enhance the residents' experience through every possible interaction that we have with them, because I think that's ever so important. From an innovative side, everything is moving forward. Everything is going towards technology. As we see, we just coming out of the pandemic, where folks who've never used Zoom, that's all we're doing now. Mm-hmm. So it's, this technology that, we want to continue to enhance to make it more community friendly, user friendly, and more convenient for folks. So, we're looking to leverage innovation to reduce transactional volume. We're looking to increase eco-friendliness within the community to, sustain the environment that we have, provide an enhanced resident experience, optimize service delivery times. So when you're coming into that township, we have more of an electronic platform than a paper process, which would take longer to process, longer to handle. When from a convenience standpoint, from home, you can go on the computer, put something in, be able to track it, get a turnaround time. And also we want to strive to be subject matter leaders within this community, understanding what this community needs, and the only way we can do that is being able to hear from all of our residents. And of course, one of the big things that overshadows, any community is fiscal responsibility and accountability. We are very aware, we can do things better. We have taken suggestions from residents as to, what would help the community and what we need to do as a council to be better stewards of their tax dollars. We're looking at ways to optimize and identify revenue opportunities. We're looking to seek grants through external fundings to support some of the projects that we have within the community.
All right, so let me ask you this, right? Willingboro, over the past couple years, has been a very violent place. You have anything in place for the violence that's taking place out here? Any police programs or any way to further your police?
Yes, absolutely. And I just for clarification for the residents, we take full responsibility of situations that happen here in Willingboro, but the only difference is situations are happening in every community across the county, the country, the nation. It's just that we seem to be highlighted, and I'm not saying it's because we're an African American community, but it just seems that, when there's something small that happens, it's all of a sudden a headline. But if you look at the statistics of the crime reports from year to year, our numbers blend in with a lot of communities around us that don't get the headlines. So I just think, we're responsible for what happens, but at the same time, I just feel, and this is all opinion, that we just get highlighted a little bit more for whatever that reason is. But with that, some of the targeted focus that we as a council are looking at is, of course, safety. We have implemented a security camera surveillance system that's all throughout the community. We have several mobile units, several units that are attached to poles, so that helps. We've enhanced the patrolling of the community. We're even, for the summer, we're getting ready to put our bike patrol back out there, so that now you see the officers within the community. We have a lot of community engagement going on. I have to give credit to Officer Sally Landrum for the community engagement. She has really stepped up, and actually she's received a national award for her community engagement from the, I believe it's from the Attorney General's office, because of the way she's making sure there is a police presence, that it's a friendly presence, so that when you see an officer in uniform, you're not thinking negative, but also the positive of it, to say, hey, you know what, he's friendly, he's here to help the community. So that's one of the things that we're doing. From the acquisitions of a new fire truck, for the fire department. For the police, we received body armor, tasers, handguns, bulletproof vests. We just want to make sure that from a safety standpoint, our patrol units are ready to take on any task, to, of course, not escalate, but de-escalate any situations so that we can keep it under control and maintain it. Because as we see across the country, so many unfortunate situations are happening, especially with Black African Americans. So we want to make sure that our team has every tool that they have to bring any situation under control. Infrastructure is another huge piece for any community. Right now we're in the process of restructuring stormwater culverts, various improvements to our streets, roads, and sidewalks, and renovation of our municipal buildings in town, as well as the library, because it's nice to have these things, but what comes along with it is the maintenance of these things. So that's one of the things we want to make sure, that we have a secure infrastructure, because you can't build on a ground that's not solid. So if our infrastructure is shaky, everything we try to do on top of that will be just as shaky. Yeah. And that's not what we want. So those are two areas that we're focused on as far as the targeted units, areas that we're concerned about. Another big piece here is economic development. Earlier I spoke about the small businesses, but if we're able to attract bigger businesses with the limited land that we have, they become rateables for this community, which will then allow us to be able to reduce the taxes in town. So that's been a huge task, an ongoing and undaunting task for us. But we're starting to think outside the box with different opportunities, look at different suggestions and different offers. So most recently, we have attracted some new developers who have interest in several pieces of commercial property on the 130 corridor. We've had the opportunity to decrease our vacant homes. At one point, Willingboro had about 1,100 vacant homes. As of 2021, we're down to 270 vacant homes. So I have to give a huge shout out to the inspections department, for getting out here, doing their due diligence, making sure, these vacant homes are being worked on, that they're putting them back on the tax rolls. So I have to give a shout out to the inspections department for really helping that initiative there. We even have developers coming in to look at new land acquisitions. We have some parcels of land that aren't being used. We're getting different offers. It's some of the offers are not what we're used to, but we also have to consider thinking outside of the box to do what we have to do to generate revenues. From the innovation, which is our technology side, we just did an acquisition of desktops, laptops, and servers, various IT equipment, so that we can create these user-friendly processes that we need for the community. The police department, we just purchased new audio and video equipment. We are just purchased Office 365, which will allow us to have a more collaborative work environment internally. So, all of these things are pieces that are very important into the puzzle that we're looking to complete. And we as a council are so proud to announce that this year, knowing taxes has been one of the main thorns in the side of this community, that we were able to pass a municipal budget with a 0 increase on taxes for 2021.
Since 2010, what are some of the accomplishments that you've been able to achieve?
Well, since being a member of Willingboro Township Council since 2010, there have been many notable accomplishments that we as a council have achieved. I've been a part of many councils. I've seen members come, members go. And since this time of 12 years, 11 and a half years, there are about 24 accomplishments that I can name, and which I'll read for you so I don't miss any. The new township user-friendly website that we established, increasing housing sales, because at one time the community was starting to look so blighted because properties were boarded up, folks could no longer afford because of the burst, when the bubble burst, and Willingboro was really looking blighted. So from the simple fact that we have been able to turn that around is huge. As I indicated earlier, from 1,100 vacant properties to 270 is a huge accomplishment.
Very huge. Yeah.
The community service surveillance cameras to address some of our community concerns was a nice piece that we need. We can't just stop there. There are some other initiatives that we're taking so that we can make sure that the community feels safe. Right. And that's big for us. The youth programs at the Kennedy Center, they requested to have a concession stand. We were able to achieve that. Solar panels for all of our municipal buildings, is another way for us to take in a savings, to help with the lack of a tax base that we have. We were able to partner with the American Red Cross to provide smoke detectors through many communities within Willingboro. We were able to reestablish the Economic Development Committee. Office 365 was huge. It provided us a more collaborative working environment. So it allowed us to know what was going on in town when events were coming up. It's easy to post to our phones. Anything that we needed to do, it just made it a more user-friendly, efficient environment for the township. Council chambers, we purchased a brand new audio-video system, which is state-of-the-art. That is now allowing us to do our Zoom meetings, to go Facebook Live, and provide many other communication opportunities, such as the Mayor's Forum that you see every Wednesday. So that technology has allowed us to get communication and messaging out across several platforms. We've also have the installation of metal detectors at the township buildings. Our biggest project, actually our $11 million project, was the brand new state-of-the-art firehouse that we have, which we're so proud of because this is something that the community sorely needed. We put up pedestrian safety measures in front of the municipal complex, sewer lateral insurance program. So pretty much what that is when there are sewer issues within the home, now they have an insurance that will cover some of these issues and concerns that they have. Another huge, and I think this is most significant for me out of everything, we were able to rename our senior center building to the Miss Reaver Foster Senior Center Building. And why it's so important? Because Miss Reaver, when it comes to these seniors, that is her heart, her joy, and her pride. She has been running that program for at least the last 25 years. She puts her heart, her soul into it, her sweat, her blood, her tears. Her seniors are everything to her, as well as they are everything to this community, because that's the solid rock that we all stand on. We stand on their shoulders when it comes to this community. And it's ever so important that we as a council, we as a community, we respect those seniors. And Miss Foster, we have one of the best, if not the best, senior center facility in the state of New Jersey. Miss Reva Forster was the one who went out, got the grants, got the dollars needed to build this building. So once again, I can't give her enough kudos, and for me, that is one of my proudest accomplishments to be a part of with this current council. We also have done some outdoor work in Mill Creek Park, Area D pavilion improvements. We even have a new outdoor fitness center at the park. We just completed an ordinance for off-road vehicles, because what's happening in this community, ATVs, just like every other community, is becoming an issue. So it's, you know, not as easy as pulling them over, because we're not, meaning the police are not allowed to chase them. You know, we're not trying to endanger anybody's lives, but we are also trying to contain what is become a nuisance in these communities. So we have an ordinance in place to allow us some more leverage to handle these situations, which is something that the community, you know, spoke to us loud, very loud. And we just want to let them know that we heard you and we have taken steps to put things in place. We just supported a small business ordinance for food truck vendors. You know, we want to make sure that the small businesses, the startups, the up and comings have an opportunity to be successful. So that ordinance supports that. Willingboro Lakes, okay? This was a property that was pretty much a vacant property. It was barren. It was run down. It just was no longer an attraction for this community. We, as a township, didn't have the opportunity or the funds to do anything with it. I believe back in 2010, myself, a former council member, sat down with the county, spoke to them as far as would they be interested in taking over this property. And in doing so, they would rehab the property. So back in 2010, we talked to council, we came up with a plan of which we allowed the county to take that property for $1. And in 2020, that property was rehabbed, and now it's a beautiful, beautiful property that allows walking trails, has fishing docks, it even has a boating ramp that it has just become a jewel of this community. So I want to thank all the partners over at the county that allowed this to be true, to come to fruition, with the leadership of Commissioner Director Felicia Hobson, you know, she's part of the Willingboro community, along with all the other commissioners that serve at the county level. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for keeping your word. Thank you for allowing this to come to fruition. We established the Youth Advisory Board. So many times when things happen in the community, it's us as the adults making these decisions. But we've decided, this is a board that I established in 2016 when I was the mayor, to give our youth an opportunity to sit at some of these tables on these committees and allow their voices to be heard, because they are the future. And I think that is very important as we continue to move Willingboro forward, as we start to imagine what Willingboro could look like in 2040.
All right. Let me ask you one question though.
Sure.
You being a politician, I hope you don't mind me saying that. You being a politician, how do you feel about the newly legalized marijuana in New Jersey?
Well, as a politician, and I will call myself a politician, you know, a lot of folks don't like to hear that. You know, a lot of folks, I hear them say that they are public servants. Yes, I can do that too. But I also know how to balance, you know, what the community needs with reaching out to resources on how to get it. So when you have to balance both and, you know, make things happen, you know, I'm a politician. And I have no faults and problems in saying that. For us, it's a revenue generating opportunity. You know, we're asked to think outside of the box as to how we can generate revenue with the resources that we have. Listening to some of the new legislation, as to how this can be beneficial to the community, it sounds good. But we as council members aren't the ones that make that decision. What's going to be important for us in making this decision is being able to include the community in doing forums and educating the community on the good, the bad, the ugly. We will then look at doing a survey with the community once they have been educated, and as a community we will make that decision. Personally, I think it's an opportunity once again to generate revenues, which is huge for us in the absence of the big business. Right. But it's not my decision personally. It's a council decision along with the community decision. Because what a lot of individuals don't realize is we are not government. It's the people who are government. They're the ones that voted us into these seats. So we're in the seats to be their voices, not the other way around. And I do understand that.
I've noticed that people don't know their laws. And once they go to court and they figure out that they've broken the law, and now they're going to jail for it. So I just think, I'm not sure if y'all have this in place, but I just think it would be a good thing to inform people about their laws, especially the laws in your township.
Well, there's two ways that this can happen. We have what we operate off of, which are called our ordinances. They can always come to the township, request a copy of the ordinances. But better yet, we have a platform called eCode 360. You can download it, it's an app. Once you download it, you just put in your municipality, which would be Willingboro, and it gives you all the ordinances that we have on the books. So if there is a question or concern, you can go to this app, look it up. And if it's something that's not there that you can't find, you can always reach out to the township for assistance. As a council, we take our thoughts, we pass it along to the township manager, which he and his team, Mr. Howard, our CFO, Ms. Eusebia Diggs, all the directors in the department, they listen to what we needed for this community, and I'm gonna call it magic. Because coming out of a pandemic, when revenues weren't coming in this time last year, right, to be able to recoup and recover, to put us in a situation for a zero increase, it's a collaborative effort that we all as a community came together, and these are the results that we're happy to present. One of the things that I've been fortunate enough to learn is that you must be a great follower before you could be a good leader. When I first came on the township council, it wasn't my goal to come in kicking doors down, but I needed to learn, absorb information like a sponge. And I just want to say thank you to the late Mayor, Eddie Campbell, for giving me that opportunity. For Jacqueline Jennings, Mayor Jacqueline Jennings, for allowing me to learn, for allowing me to be a mentee of hers. I would like to thank former Mayor Jeff Ramsey, former Mayor Dr. James Ayers, former Mayor LaVon Johnson, for giving me this political opportunity to make a difference in this community. So with those lessons that I was able to learn, what I believe here is humble leaders recognize that they are not on the Willingboro Township Council to see how important they can become, but to see how much of a difference they can make in the lives of the residents that live here in Willingboro. And with that being said, I would like to ask for your support to vote column 1.
I said, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, Dope World TV, they came by, we did the interview this morning. I just want to say thank you for your support, man.